Welcome to episode 102 of the Left Behind Game Club. This week we begin a two-part Death Stranding series. You can find all things Left Behind Game Club on Twitter at Left Behind Club, on Instagram at Left Behind Game Club, and on our website at leftbehindgame.club. If you'd like talking about video games with great people, check out our Discord. You can find the link to that on our website. If you like what you've heard, consider a 5-star review of this podcast on your podcasting platform of choice. And if you do, make sure to let us know that you've done it so we can shout you out on the show. Without further ado, let's get right into it. You're listening to the Left Behind Game Club. Welcome to the Left Behind Game Club, our never-ending attempt to make sure that no game is left behind. I'm your host, Jacob McCourt, and today I have 3 friends with me. The first friend, you know him, you love him. His name is Travis Colenutt.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
How's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
I'm good.
Our second friend, back for the nth time, it's Katie Lesperance.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. And back for the second time on the podcast, she is a writer, streamer, and co-creator of Streamers Unknown, CourtFTW. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello.
It has been a while. You were last on for our Witness episode 32, and that was at least 2 years ago. Yeah. So we're very happy to have you back. Court, if people want to find your work on the internet, where's the best place that they can do that? Tell me about your projects.
I'm a part-time streamer on Twitch, so twitch.tv/CourtFTW. Is where you can find me. You can also check out the website that is now launched, which is streamersunknown.com. And if you want a little bit extra spicy documentary about the esports community in BC, you can go and check out Smash Forward. I make a decent appearance in there, and it's just all about the grassroots community of the esports in British Columbia.
It is a great documentary, highly recommend. So if you are interested in esports, in Smash, it's a great watch. So please do that. Court, we're so happy to have you on. And just before we start, Travis, Katie, you have a new podcast out now. It's called Cutscenes. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's basically we all watch a movie, not together, separately, and then we get together and talk about it. It's movies that are either based on video games or they're relevant to video games. So yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's me and Katie and Jacob, of course. So, I mean, I don't even know why you asked us. You could have just answered this question yourself. But
I was going to make a joke about your third co-host being a bit of a jerk, but
yeah,
you.
Yeah, it's fine. We deal with them. It's okay.
Yeah, you know.
But this is not a podcast about bad co-hosts. It is a podcast about Death Stranding, a video game developed by Kojima Productions, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, released on the PS4, and as of this recording, the PC. We're going to start this off with a newer segment on the show. It's called Fast Pitch, and in that segment, what I want you to do is give me your one-sentence pitch on Death Stranding. I will start it off this time, because I think I have a pretty good one. Kojima makes USPS the anime, the video game with a huge budget.
Oh my gosh.
Katie, you go ahead.
I actually have one this time, because usually I'm just piecing it together. But no. This game, lessons on logistics and infrastructure with deadly, giant, invisible ghost babies.
Oh my god.
That's wonderful. Court, you're up next.
A delivery man that delivers anything from explosives to pizza to dead bodies and babies.
I don't know how you're going to top that, Travis.
I cannot top those things. Literally, I wrote one down. I was like, oh yeah, this is fine. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll go first. And it's all it is post-apocalyptic FedEx sim. So there we go. That's all I'm going with.
Oh, nice.
Those are very good. We're going to kick the show off proper with a question. And this one comes in from Twitter, from @SeriousBusiness. Maria Hicken asks, did you go in with any preconceived expectations for this game based on your experience with other Kojima games? So I guess my question is, tell me about your experience with Kojima games and with Death Stranding. What did you know about the game before you kind of came into it?
I guess I can go first. I've never actually played any of his other games. I've always watched them from the first Metal Gear Solid game on, PS2? And watching my brother
PS1,
play it.
actually.
PS1.
Ooh, yeah. So I remember watching my brother play that, but I always knew how strange his games were. So I remember seeing the trailer for this in E3, and then I just expected some sort of strangeness. And I liked how it was just a delivery man with a baby. And I had so many more questions, and I was so intrigued.
So I've never played a Kojima game either. Like, I don't know really anything about Metal Gear Solid. So I was kind of going in a little blind. I knew that, like, he's known for, like, out there and, kind of crazy concepts and, just kind of things aren't going to make sense and you just kind of roll with it, right? And I had seen the trailers for this and I was like, okay, like, I think the first trailer is just like Sam on a beach and then there's a baby involved. And I'm like,
Yep.
Okay, this is cool. I'm kind of interested. Like, and yeah, there was more information. And then when the game actually came out, I was like interested again. I was like, okay, I could play this. But I never really got around to it. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I was getting myself into going in. And I really didn't know much other than the fact that it was supposed to be kind of crazy.
Katie, did you have more experience with Kojima's games?
Yeah, I do. I played Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2 with Sons of Liberty, I believe.
Yep.
And then 3, Snake Eater. Loved them all. And then when 4 came around, and that time my video game motion sickness kicked in real hard. And I played about 10 minutes, and I was like, I cannot play this game. I physically can't. So I bailed out, and then I obviously did not play PT because, dear God, I will not play that game. So, yeah. No, I hopped back into 5, though. So I'm excited for that. But no, so it's been a little while.
Okay, same with me. I played MGS 1 through 5. Loved all of them. They're crazy. I played PT, and then obviously was very excited to play Death Stranding. So when you guys said, like, let's play for the pod, I was like, yes. Funny story about PT. We've played it on this podcast before. It is no longer available to download. But I just transferred my PS4 to a PS4 Slim and then a PS4 Pro, and forgot that now I don't have access to PT anymore. So
Wonderful.
sad, but
Oof.
there's a version on PC you can get to it. But
You can just listen to the old episode that you and Jess recorded, and I will
great plug.
I'll just listen to that all day long instead of actually playing it. That's fine by me.
Horror Babies.
Horror Baby.
Which is very similar to what we're talking about today.
Yes, he has a thing with babies.
He
Okay.
loves horror babies.
He loves he loves a scary, weird baby. But
Yep.
anyway,
Perfect
moving
for this
on.
game.
Before we jump into the meat, I want to just ask how you all played, and I'm pretty sure I know that everyone played it on PS4, but Courtney, not to put you on the spot, you have a very special edition of the game, right?
Yes,
Do you want to talk about it or not?
I have the collector's, which came with Lou in his tube, and it's a lamp, and it came with the tape that you can use in the game, and a little keychain. I also got the steelbook, which had the soundtrack with it and everything. So that was kind of a nifty addition.
It's beautiful.
That Lou baby.
Yeah.
That's a lamp?
Yeah, it turns on and everything.
Oh my God, it's so much scarier. I don't want it as a lamp. You have like a baby silhouette on your wall while you're trying to. Oh God.
Yeah, people be like, "You're gonna have kids." I'm like, "This is my child."
And so just to confirm, everyone here played it on PS4, right?
Yes.
PS4 original, Slim, or Pro? Because I played it on a Pro. So I started it on a regular PS4 and then moved to a Pro, and it looked insane. And we're going to talk about the graphics later, but it looked incredible. So I just wanted to know if you played it on base model or what you played it on.
Base for sure.
My OG.
Yep.
I think I have a base model. I actually don't know.
Depends on how big it is. If it's a little bit slimmer, it's going to be the 1 terabyte.
It's not
slim.
the slim one. I know it's not the
Okay.
slim one, but I don't know if it's a Pro.
No, you have an original. I don't know. You didn't buy a Pro.
No, I don't think so.
No.
So let's get into it and let's talk about Death Stranding. If you had to describe the kind of game Death Stranding is, how would you do that? Because I think it's
Do you
a
have an hour?
layered explanation. Yeah, we have half an hour. Why don't you go ahead and start us off? What
Okay,
is Death Stranding?
let's go.
Oh my god, how do you even start with this game? Like, it's
third-person action adventure.
yep,
Yes.
literally.
I did it.
Yep.
That's
With
it.
a lot of with a lot of like terrain traversal
Open
Yeah.
world.
things going on. Yes.
A lot of cutscenes.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
A lot of
Yes.
menus.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Yes.
so many menus.
And then
Are we
also there's asynchronous multiplayer too with the social strand system is what it's called.
Right.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
cool.
It's kind of like Dark Souls-y in a way. Dark Souls 3. I don't know if the other ones had it or not, but Dark Souls 3 has like the signs that people put up that kind of indicate true or not, kind of what's coming up and kind of try to warn you for things. I found the signs for this one very accurate.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really find any that were trying to deceive you at all, whereas Dark Souls, honestly, it's like 50-50. Half the people are just trying to screw you over. But
Wow.
no, I was like, it was pretty much like dead on. Like, I never really found myself being like, oh, that wasn't real.
I mean, this game is about connection, so
Yeah.
you want to be connecting with good people, not terrible, terrible people.
Yeah.
So we've kind of described it a little bit. It's made on Decima Engine, which is the engine that makes Horizon Zero Dawn and other Guerrilla games that are coming, which obviously allows it to have these beautiful, lush, enormous environments for your character to deliver packages.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like,
you're kind of-
you could tell that it was like, I could see the Horizon-ness in it, but also like there was straight up like things from Horizon in this game. Like you could make
Yeah.
holograms and stuff like that with like watchers, and I remember seeing, was there
The
an
tower.
Aloy?
I don't remember
Aloy is the-
Aloy.
Yeah.
I've never played
think
Horizon
Aloy
Zero
is-
Dawn. I'm like, oh, really?
The tall, there was, what are they called? The tall tower
Yeah.
robots.
The
I don't
giant
remember what
giraffe
they're
kind of
called.
ones. I can't remember either.
Yeah. It was a while ago that we played that. But yeah, all of a sudden, I remember the one time I was like, oh God, what's that? Like, I panicked.
yeah.
And then I was like, okay, it's just the tall giraffe thing.
No, I
But
had the same thing as you. Walking up to a bridge, I saw a watcher, and I instinctively like dived out of the way because I was like, "Oh my god, it's going to see me!" Not realizing that I was playing Death Stranding and not playing Horizon.
What new bizarre horror is this?
What?
I guess what are you actually doing? Like, what is the objective of Death Stranding?
You're delivering
So-
packages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, America has fallen apart. It's like a post-apocalyptic land. Some terrible event called the Death Stranding has happened. So all of the cities are kind of separate. There's no connection. Like, there's nothing connecting city to city at all. Like, there's no roads. There's no nothing. So you're picking up packages, bringing them to another city or another like substation, way station is what they're called. And then as you're doing that, you're like building up connection, and you're convincing these cities to connect themselves back into basically
internet.
like the internet.
Yeah.
Basically the internet. It's like a very powerful internet. And that is the mission. And then you meet crazy things along the way.
You're knotting them together.
Yes,
Oh.
the knots. You're forming the knots along the strand.
Yes.
Oh my god, the amount of words that this game
Oh my
uses.
God.
It was
like,
so deliberate. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it all though.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally
It was
okay
so
with
sci-fi.
like I'm totally okay with calling like this guy Deadman and this guy Hartman. Like I'm
Like Die
totally fine
Hardman.
with it. Literally, yeah, I'm totally fine with it. Like I don't care if it's on the nose, or I don't care if his last name is like Sam Porter Bridges. Nah, I'm digging it. Like I'm totally into it. Yeah.
I've always found Kojima to be very on the nose campy, where he'll just like do stuff like that and he doesn't care. Like all the characters, like all the villains in Metal Gear are always like over the top and kind of ridiculous and not super realistic, and just like in your face villains. And so yeah, the like Revolver Ocelot, and his favorite weapon is a revolver. Like, and I guess he
Yeah.
named himself that, but still, it's like
Right.
it's super on the nose, and he's just like, nah, I'm just gonna call it what it is. Like,
Yeah.
that's fine.
You just
The
accept
main
it.
bad guy in MGS5 is Skullface.
Oh, really? I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, the main bad guy's name is
Spoilers.
Skullface.
So he's
like,
Higgs.
He's essentially Higgs. Yeah, a little different, but
yeah.
like he loves those names.
Oh, yeah.
I think Higgs had the most undeliberate name because there's BB, which is a baby, and then everyone else had like Fragile. Like Higgs was the only one where I'm like, Higgin, what? Like I don't get it.
You know what he's
like, what's
Higgs?
Yeah,
he was named after the Higgs boson particle, which is the God particle.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what? That's fine. I'm fine with that, but also like
it's so dumb.
I love it. No, but like that one's almost like not as obvious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to know that? And
he says it multiple times. But yes, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just same thing though. You're right, Jacob. It's just like super on the nose and I'm going to do this connection in this metaphor and I'm going to say, hey, look at this metaphor I did and like point it out to you.
Beat you over the head with the metaphor.
A woman has a ghostly miscarriage, therefore her name is Mama.
We're going to get to that. I have takes.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, takes.
I'm sure you do. So can we just talk, before we talk about the story, how frustrating this game is to play sometimes? I've been posting clips on my Twitter for at least a month of me falling and dropping packages, and I don't think I know how to play Death Stranding. I'm not gonna
You're
lie.
like, I don't know how to do this.
Honestly, I think you're just bad at it. Like, I'm
so
not kidding.
bad.
Jacob,
you're so bad.
I saw your tweet and you posted that video of you falling, and I just looked to the side of the screen and you don't have shoes on. And I'm like, what are you doing walking around without shoes on? I'm like, put some shoes on. And maybe you won't fall on your face all the time and kill Mama or kill whoever you're killing. But like, maybe just put some shoes on or like prepare. Are you a bad prepper? Do you not prepare, Jacob? I don't understand.
It's like lesson 2 in your tutorial.
Literally.
Put shoes on and everything's easier. That's all you have to do. And they're like, hey, and by the way, you have a boot clip where you can stash extra shoes. You could put 2 of them on there. 2 pairs.
So that video was a one-off. I wore shoes in most cases.
Sure.
But I think I'm just bad at it.
Because I don't play a lot of these new games, so I can kind of feel your frustration with it, Jake, because I had to really prep a lot of the times, but just with the main mechanics, like when I was trying to snowboard and to try and get down mountains, I could not turn around to my carriage to jump on it, and then when I did, I'd slide right down and then hit something, fall, everything would roll down the mountain. I'm like, this is it. I'm just going to leave it.
Please explain snowboarding, because like, how do you do it? I didn't even know you could do it until you mentioned it, and I was like, wait, you can snowboard?
Yeah, so they don't really kind of tell you to do that in the game.
No,
but
I didn't see it anywhere.
It's the aircraft thing that holds a lot of the heavy stuff. So when you're in the mountains and there's those huge orders that are just massive and you have to walk around in the snow, you can use this thing to kind of carry it so then it like lessens the load. But when you're at the top of the mountain and you don't have anything, you can pull out that aircraft thing and you attach it to your belt, and then you turn around to it. You look at it, and it says "ride the carrier."
Oh my god!
And then you jump on it. You press square, and he does like the kick to push him down. So you can straight up snowboard. Yeah.
So I had to cut myself off because every single time it backfired, and I'd be like, I'm doing it, and I'd crash and lose all my stuff, and I would be furious. But then I would go, I'd get it all together, I'd collect my stuff, and then I'd be at the top of another little hill, and it was a perfect snowboarding thing, and I would try it again, and then I would crash until the point where I purposefully did not equip one. Like, I didn't bring one of those little aircraft things with me because I was like, I'm going to try and snowboard and I'm going to fail. And I need to just not even give myself the option because I'm going to be like, no, I can do it this time and I'm going to screw it up. So, yeah, that's my experience.
I'm booting up the game after this to play it.
To snowboard?
To snowboard. I'm going to try this.
Yeah, you have to be careful with snowboarding because I got lost a lot of times and I actually slid into a mule camp in the forest. And I had to whiz around all the trees, and then the music starts up, and they've seen me, and I'm like, oh no! and then I crash, and then they're right there, and I had to book it out of there.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
I guess I just didn't maybe optimize the way I play. So if you've played the game, you know that Sam can carry like a limited amount of stuff on his back. I think he has like a limited amount of things, like objects. and also like a weight capacity. And that can change based on what you have equipped. So if you have like this speed skeleton or like a power skeleton, you can carry, like, you go from 130 kilograms to like 300 kilograms of what you can carry. You can wear gloves that can help you like climb up mountains. You can have other things equipped. But at the same time, if you don't optimize the way that you like carry your cargo, you can easily topple yourself over. And I think that's maybe, like, I auto-arranged a lot, but I found the auto-arrange didn't always put things, like, example, on your body, and you would end up with a higher stack than maybe you should.
Yes. You're right. There's a lot of micromanaging with all of your equipment, which equipment you're wearing. Honestly, just all the menus in general. This is the most tedious game in every possible way that I've ever enjoyed. I don't know why. Because there is almost no part of it that is easy and not just tedious. That's the best word I can think of for it.
Or enjoyable.
And I enjoyed it. It's very satisfying.
Yes.
Anything with micromanagement, with the right balance, I find it very satisfying for some reason. I don't know why. But no, menus, like each menu is tedious. How you're walking across the land is tedious. Everything. All of it's tedious.
It's so meticulous. You have to plan out how you're going to waste, like, look at your distance, look at what you're going to carry, look at what you've got on you, figure out, okay, am I going through a mule area, a BT area, figure out like what you're doing. And it's a lot of just like pre-planning before you actually just head out. And then when you're going out, you're really just managing what's in front of you and trying to find the most logical path through. And I really enjoyed that part of the game. Like the whole just planning, and it seems like it'd be, tedious. And when tedious seems very like negative sounding,
it's what it is though.
Yeah, it is.
But it's meditative at the same time. Like exactly. I found it very just calming, and I was just like in the zone.
Yeah,
happy.
I loved doing all of that. I totally agree with you.
I wonder what it's like to be a like male person after playing this game. Like how, like a mailman or a male woman. Yeah,
I was like, I don't know why this changed your whole perception on your entire identity, Jacob. But I need to hear about it.
A person, like a courier, like a UPS human being.
Gotcha.
Because as you said, this game is incredibly tedious, but I would tell my partner, I'd be like, yeah, I was playing Death Stranding, and like, here's the thing that I did, and I was like, I went over this mountain, and it took me an hour to do one delivery, and boy, I hated it. But at the same time, I'd be smiling, so I don't know. Like you said, Katie, it's the game that the most tedious game that I enjoyed playing.
Mm-hmm. To give you a brief thing, I used to be a paper girl all throughout high school.
Nice.
So it's as much as this is way different because I wasn't traveling over mountains, but
it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's like there's prep.
Totally.
Like if it was raining out, we'd have to make sure we wore rain boots. If it was snowing, to make sure we had the appropriate stuff on, and
like shoes. You mean
shoes?
Yeah, wear shoes.
Jacob, shoes. And it was a lot of prep work to like. My dad would drop off a stack of the newspapers because if it was too heavy for me to carry, he'd put it at another spot on the route, and then I would pick it up and to continue on. So,
oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, with this game, I looked through all the menus to be like, what did I need? Do I need an extra pair of shoes? Should I just put on a new pair? With the upgrades and stuff too, I did choose to wait for a lot of stuff. Like every time Mama called me, she's like, I did this. I'm like, I don't care. Just let me walk around and deliver this pizza. Like,
right?
Leave me alone.
It's very important.
Let me go see Conan O'Brien and give me the otter mask. Like, and then it wasn't until I reached the mountains, which is where I ended up using a lot of the stuff because it was so like terrible up there.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Okay, there's that gun that you can use that like slingshots, or like it like grapples like from a distance stuff that a mule is carrying and brings it all, like it flings it into the air towards you.
I didn't shoot a single mule.
Oh,
I did
nice.
it.
What?
Yeah, I didn't I did not kill or attack, or I did punch them, but
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know how to use the guns until way later.
Yeah.
Only with Cliff. I only knew how to use the guns with
Yes.
Cliff, but with the mules, I just ran in and punched them in the face and took what I wanted and then ran out.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
So like, literally, it's the exact same thing I did. I would slingshot the gun. I would use that slingshot thing to pull the luggage off of them, and then it
nice.
kind of flies through the air and you can grab it. But you can completely miss that because I didn't do it until like way later in the game. Apparently, there was something that I missed a secondary like delivery that because I wasn't like 5-starring everything along the way. And there was apparently some delivery that you had to go all the way from, might have been the Timefall farm or something like that. It was one of those, and it let you and you got like an added, because it gave you the extra stuff on your backpack for grenades. I didn't have that until like almost right before the end of the game.
Oh, what? No idea.
Yeah.
So you know what? Now that you mention it, I never killed any of the mules either because they said, hey, if you kill someone, it's going to cause a void out.
Yes.
Which is like when basically it's like a little mini Death Stranding kind of.
It's like a human nuke, right?
Yeah, you'd have to burn their
a very
bodies.
small human nuke. Yes. So no, I did. So I purposely did not kill anybody, but I took out everyone. Like. If someone's, which is how I play most things, I will just kill or like, handicap or whatever, take them down in some way. Everything. So I think that you mentioned, Court, that you tried not to kill any BTs. Literally, I was going through, I'm like, oh, there's one. It's close enough for me to kill it. So I'd kill it. So I had my grenades. I had my bola gun for the mules, and I had my grenades for the BTs. And I would just grenade everything.
I think
all of it. Like I just clear the path. So that was just my entire strategy. I had my bola gun and I had like 10 grenades. And I was good to go.
There were like mini bosses that you could fight for the BTs, but I did accidentally kill some. I didn't shoot at them, but once I got the cufflink to cut the umbilical cords,
Right.
that I would cut cords, slash, and then I would just continue walking. But anything like when Higgs sent that dog thing after me, I just ran and I would just kind of dodge out of the way, get out of the ink stuff, and then all right, see you later.
Yeah. I booked it out of those two. I didn't kill. I don't think I killed a single one of those things. I think I just ran every single time.
Yeah. Is that how you usually play games? Because I don't take everything out. I just sneak around. I'm always a rogue in things if I can sneak. Like the first initial mule camp that they make you go into where they're trying to teach you how to be sneaky. I pressed the wrong button and I pressed the one where he shouts at people. So the dude is like sitting there and they're like crouch and I'm like, hey! And the guy like
over
stands up
there.
and turns around. I'm like, damn it. And I just run over and punch him in the face. And I'm like, give me this.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah, no, I do. That's how I play games typically is I like to stealth. Like we mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn. I never went into any battle in Horizon with like the intent of like attacking full out. It was creep around, stealth kill, do what I can do. And so for a lot of like the mule camps, I just like, especially if it like traversed where I had roads built, I just booked it on a motorcycle, like between the not cities. If I could, I just book it and then just get out as fast as I could.
But
Horizon.
it's obviously, go ahead.
I went in bow and arrow blazing in Horizon. I took out everything.
Well, yeah,
anyway,
this is what you do.
That's what
Mass
I do.
murderer.
Yeah.
I was kind of secretly hoping for a bow and arrow in this game because I love bow and arrows in games like Tomb Raider, Crysis 2 and 3, Horizon Zero Dawn. But in this game, no bow and arrow. But there were some great weapons. A lot of them involving your own blood because in this world, Sam, who has many conditions, he's a repatriate. He has dooms, which I don't know what doom stands for, but essentially his urine, his poop, and his blood are a weapon against these BT beached things, the big ghosts in the game.
Yeah, so like essentially you make grenades out of his blood, and because he's got dooms, which like links him to, this Death Stranding event, his blood seems to affect the BTs, and you can throw grenades. So I played a lot with the grenades, and I used that for BTs a lot. I didn't use any of the guns, only when I had to in the war zone areas. but I felt like the first like 2 Warzone areas I did terribly. Like those were I could not get it because I did not like the shooting. I didn't feel like it was like it flowed well. I didn't feel like I had a really good like feel for like how the guns felt. Like I didn't have very much experience with them because I really didn't shoot anything outside of those Warzone areas.
It wasn't a very good shooter game.
Yeah. It was like and Katie, you know this from playing like MGS4, for example. Yeah. In ways, it felt like MGS4 with the shooting. It's perfectly fine, but maybe not exactly what you wanted. It's better than serviceable. It's great. It just like it could be better.
I didn't mind it. It's not
it felt
great.
Stiff.
Yes, it's very, very stiff. But at the same time, it's not a critical part of the gameplay. So I was like, yeah, I'm shooting people. And also I felt that the combat areas, I didn't find them that difficult. So I didn't feel like I couldn't get through it because the gun's super stiff. And again, it didn't come up that often. So I was like, this is fine. I'll shoot some guys.
I don't play a lot of shooting games, so I'm just not experienced with them. So going into like those areas, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. Like I'm stuck in World War I forever. I'm just let me die here.
Was that your, like, I remember when I got into the first, like, World War thing, and I just ran. Until I couldn't run anymore, and you had to find the zombie dudes to fight Cliff, and then I was like, I guess I'm shooting some people, but when I played it the second time, I had it was super easy, so the auto-aim was on.
Nice.
And the auto-aim, it's not even that great, but it was good for me, because I'm not much of a shooter. So I would just keep like looking up and then resetting the auto aim. So I would just keep like shooting at them. And but I ran through that whole thing.
I felt like by the last Warzone thing, like the very, very last one, that was the only one where I actually felt effective. Like I was like, oh, I think I've got this. I was hiding correctly. I was taking shots like from like the tall grasses, very Horizon-y. And then that was the only thing that I felt like I was actually good at that one. But every other Warzone area, whenever there was like, oh, there's a supercell coming, I'm like, oh great, I gotta shoot things again.
Yeah.
A bit of a tangent, but I want to ask if you had any memorable... So this game I mentioned has asynchronous multiplayer in it. If you don't know what that is, if you played Journey, essentially like other players will come into your world. This game has something very similar where other people's structures and, as Katie mentioned, kind of symbols or their notes will be left in your world. What did you think of that? Did it add to the gameplay for you? Because for me, like, I wouldn't have beaten the game without that, I don't think. There are a lot of bridges being built and like post offices and generators and watchtowers and zip lines that like I used all the time.
Zip lines.
Yeah. I feel like they only could build half the zip lines because I used it maybe once or twice, and I'm not building another one for you. Like you should have planned this a little bit better.
I know. That's the thing. I was wondering if like, okay, maybe you're seeing one person's zip line, but I'm like, this isn't like, I would find a zip line. I'm like, this is a good spot for one. And then I would take the time to like manufacture zip lines using other people's zip lines. And I had this beautiful like traversal that went from Mountain Knot City all the way to the weather station. So like I went the like, yeah. So like, but it was like, it went the long way over the mountain. So normally you would go the long way all the way around to get to Mountain Knot. This was Mountain Knot to like the robotics person. And then it kind of like, it cut over. And it was beautiful. I had this, like, I could do these deliveries from Mountain Knot all the way to like, is it Lake Knot? Because I had the zip line to, I want to say, like a distribution center that was connected to the road that went to Lake Knot. So I had this beautiful train of zip lines and motorcycles that I used a few from people's stuff and I made it myself, and it was wonderful. I loved it.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Nothing more satisfying. It plays into the whole micromanagement thing where I like to just max it out with efficiency as much as possible. I don't know. It's a weird thing that makes me happy. So I was like, I can do this delivery that's very far away in like 8 minutes. And I was so happy and proud of myself. So I would just do them. I'm like, I can do another one. It's not going to take me any time. So I'm going to do it. And I maxed out. I like 5-starred a lot of knots.
Okay, so question. Did you guys dismantle some of those zip lines to recreate your own, or did you just manufacture your own and just bring a whole bunch of metal and whatever it needed and just pop them up everywhere?
I would just like take a bunch of PCCs with me wherever I would take a bunch of those, even if I was like, okay, I'm traversing to a new area for whatever the story is pushing me towards. I would always bring at least like 2, maybe a third, depending on how much space I had on my, like, with my carrier stuff. And then I would bring it, and if I would see a zip line, I was like, oh yeah, okay, here we go. And then I would plan, okay, I see that one. I would walk far enough away and then check my map to see if I was within the 300 meters to see, like, okay, now I have an easy way back because I'll put a zip line now so I can get myself back. And if I really needed to, I could zip back, get another PCC, then keep making my train as I went. Yeah, I loved it.
Same thing. Dude, I'd bring 5 with me.
Oh my God.
I would be stacked up with them. I had my 2 boots, I had my 2 climbing anchors, maybe 1 ladder, 5 PCCs, and then whatever else, what other cargo I could bring. I was like, sure, I'll bring some cargo too.
A little bit of wiggle room so that you could pick up stuff along the way.
Yes, but if I need to ditch one of these climb anchors or one of the PCCs, I can get rid of them if I need to. But no, I'm prepped. Wow. I'm good to go. Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was ever a risk of not having enough resources. Like, I didn't feel like, I felt like I could just dump stuff and it wouldn't matter.
Building maybe the road.
Yeah. Not those.
Do you mean actual resources?
I mean more like material, like equipment. Like, I was like, I don't need this ladder. Like, I'll just ditch this ladder if I really don't need it. Or put it in a shared cargo thing, or so that way people could, like,
You're so nice.
Like, I'm a person who has a, like, big need for control of things. So that applied to this video game where, like, I could never leave anything, like, on the ground. Unless it was, like, an empty blood bag and I would just, like, litter. But otherwise, I'm like, no, I need to bring this level 1 ladder with me and at least bring it back to my shared locker or give it to someone else. I can never just leave it around. That was me playing Death Stranding.
Such a good person.
Is every single one of your things full? Like, all of your private lockers must be full of just junk.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Problem. And I would pick up everyone else's. So lost cargo is a mechanic that we haven't talked about. Essentially, like the social strand system, people can leave their lost cargo around, and you can deliver it either to any other not city or not
distribution center or not cities.
Yeah, or you can put it in a locker and you get rewarded. But my thing was always like, I have to pick up as much of this lost cargo as possible. My lost babies, I have to bring them to a city so people can get them.
And you realize they're not lost. It's literally just us ditching our stuff so we don't have to carry it anymore because we need more PCCs.
It's your fault. You're the reason.
It's me being efficient because I'm like, I already 5-starred that place. I don't need them to like me anymore. They already like me.
Yeah.
So your control thing was like, no, I got to bring everything with me. My control thing was like, no, I'm as efficient and as prepared and Boy Scoutish as possible. And I got it no matter what comes my way.
Oh my gosh.
I found some of the lost cargo to be indicators of danger ahead. Where
Agreed.
I'm like, oh my God, someone fell, or where a BT would show up. So I would kind of throw it on, and then something would initiate, and I'm like, oh no, and I drop it.
Yeah.
This is a bad idea.
Yeah, it is a good indicator. You would be able to sit there and see, like, oh, there's a mess here, and like clearly I should not be going into this area.
Yep.
Another Sam Porter Bridges was murdered, and I should probably run away.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
If anyone else really, I spent so much time building my road.
Me too.
I had a beautiful road from Lake Knot down to South Knot, all the way to Mountain. And I was like, I'm not resting until I completed this road the entire way across.
Yep.
It was a little bit obsessive.
I didn't start really doing that until I was getting towards the end game. Like, I didn't focus any of my attention in that early on. I really didn't start doing it until I was like, oh, I'm like, I can feel the end coming and I'm not done playing, so I'm going to build roads. And that's what I ended up focusing my attention on.
With that, vehicles was the thing I was going to ask. So your road question's perfect. Did you like the vehicles?
They were fine.
They were great. Just
until they ended up in tar.
Yes.
Or the rocky points of the map.
So, like, I had mentioned earlier how I had missed that one side plot. the end goal of that side plot got you the truck.
Oh.
I didn't do that until almost the end of the game. So I had been doing this.
That's why you've been talking about motorcycles this entire time.
Because I use because I use motorcycles for most of the flat areas that I could go around. And so I would pack everything really high on my back, and I would jump on a motorcycle. I couldn't walk. I would like trug over to a motorcycle, hop on the motorcycle, and then I'd be fine. Yeah. But I would use motorcycles because I didn't have a truck. And then it wasn't until I had done that one side quest that then unlocked trucks. And I was like, oh, this is how you get trucks? And the thing is, because I hadn't unlocked trucks, it's not like trucks were around the environment with the social gaming aspect of it. There was no trucks. As soon as I unlocked it, all people's online trucks were present. I never saw a truck the entire time. I never drove one until like right before the end of the game. So like all those really big deliveries and stuff like that, I did them mostly on foot with floating carriers or like strategically like motorcycling, dropping stuff off, going back and like, you know, kind of stuff like that. So maybe I did this wrong, but like, yeah.
I didn't use a truck.
You got there. It's fine.
You
didn't use any trucks?
I never got it because I was very straightforward with following the storyline quests.
Right.
And not like I don't know if it was one of the pizza delivery ones. I'm like, I am not delivering pizza. I have better I need to save the world. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't got time.
I need to save the world. That's hilarious.
Did you do the pizza one, Katie?
Yeah, I did all the pizza ones.
Okay, because it unlocks something at the end there.
It gave me some sweet weapons at the end.
Oh, no, it gives you a little extra like story Easter egg thing.
What?
Did you do that? Do I spoil it?
I don't know.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say that like from here on, and I'm surprised we're 40 minutes in and I haven't said this yet, we're going to spoil the heck out of Death Stranding. So if you're interested in playing Death Stranding, you should probably stop this podcast, play it, and then come back and listen when you're ready. Travis, start the spoiler.
Okay, if you do all of the pizza quests and then you go to that Peter Elgert's place, Peter Elgert is actually Higgs. It's Higgs's place. You go into his place and you get to see his wall of like crazy, like red stringed newspaper clipping stuff. And he's lost it. Like, it's Higgs. You were delivering pizzas for Higgs.
No, I know that you were, and I saw there was like a note or something, and it was signed Higgs. Yeah. But I didn't go into his room.
Yeah,
damn it! I have to reload this game into the
you
PS4.
go in there, and then you go down.
It's gonna take like 45 minutes to reload this game into my. Oh god,
I haven't deleted it yet.
You open the door and you go down into his like bunker.
What?
You want to hear the best part of all of this? Do you know who created the Higgs boson particle that I talked about earlier?
What?
Francois Elgert and Peter Higgs.
Oh my god. Well then.
Peter Elgert. Oh, Kojima, look what you did.
Oh my god.
Right on that nose.
Yep.
Back to the vehicles. Okay, my issue with the vehicles was that there wasn't enough of them.
Really?
Because I was like, oh, I got the truck. And then I was like, oh, what else is there going to be? And then there was just like advanced trucks. And I was like, oh, like I really thought there was going to be something else, like another vehicle of some sort. And no, there's two. Like 2 doesn't feel like enough in a very big game. But
driving the trucks felt like driving on the planets in Mass Effect 1. That's literally how I felt. It's very sluggish. It's very like, and trying to go over like the mountainous terrain and stuff like that. Like if you were trying to pull a truck into those areas, it gave me those vibes a lot.
Yeah, the Mako from the original game.
Yes. Yeah, when you would go onto planets and stuff like that. Yeah,
because you can jump in that truck, but you only jump about 2 inches off the ground. So it can help you get over rocks, but nothing else.
Oh my god, I jumped way too hard and then the truck exploded. And I lost all of my cargo. I'm not kidding.
What?
From jumping
so
Don't do that.
I was using a truck to help build a road, and I ended up accidentally going off the side of the road that was a little too high, and I got caught around where Conan O'Brien is because it's really rocky in that area, and it's like, so it would give you a prompt like press X to jump, and I'm like, okay, I'll jump. So I just kept jumping. And I ended up jumping so much that the truck actually like exploded. I flung from the car and all of my cargo was gone. Like exploded, damaged, destroyed. I was like, all that metal. So yeah, don't jump too hard.
Lesson of the day, folks.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you guys know how long you played the game for? Because I feel like I played it like more straight line, where I was maybe 2 or 3 stars on most not cities. But I played for 41 hours, and that probably is just because I'm really bad at it.
I think I had about 45 hours because I just...
Okay, that was your second playthrough, though.
Yeah.
Do you know how much that first time? Ish?
I think about 60.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Why? How long did you go?
You go first, Travis.
Honestly, I wish I checked. I feel like it had to have been upwards of 80, like at least.
Oh,
at
Okay,
least.
Thank God.
I feel like I saw it once and it was at 40, and that was like in the middle of the game. So like I have to imagine I'm getting close to that 100-hour mark.
To defend myself, I started like a few months ago, and then I took a break, and then I came back, and then I took a break, and then I came back. I played for 89 hours.
Oh my God.
89. And I don't know how it happened, but it just kept happening.
Just one more delivery.
Yes, one more delivery. I was like, well, I could bring this while I'm going. And then, you know what? While I'm heading there, I might as well stop at this place in case they have something that needs to go there too. And then I'd go down there, and then I'd be like, oh, now I can build more road. And then I'd drive out and build more road. And 80, which I'm kind of glad I didn't hit 90. It's like the pricing tag, like $3.99 sounds better than $400.
No.
Oh my God.
Like, no, it's still in the 80s. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah,
essentially,
I feel
it
like
costs
I'm
you
up there.
$1 to play this every hour of this game.
You know what? If you look at it like that, it's
Hey.
excellent. It
Yeah,
makes that,
what
good
a
job,
great
man.
value.
You made me feel better.
Thank you. What a great value
Well,
for this.
I got it
this
on sale
tedious
too.
game.
It was like 50 cents an hour.
I realized playing like the first time and then playing it the second time that I actually didn't finish the whole game the first time around. I realized that I hit a certain point. I think it was right past the mountains. And I think
Okay.
I was just like, and Pokemon. And,
Oh my God.
and just, so when I was replaying it, I was like, oh yeah, I know
Right.
this. I know how to do this, da-da-da. And then I got past the point, I'm like, this is new. Like, how many,
Yeah.
like what am I doing here? And then
Like
I
all
realized
the explanations.
yeah, well,
Oh my
even
God.
like I had to, because when I wrote the review for this game, I had to look into a lot of like the other stuff, like from different YouTube channels to see. So as I was writing it, I could kind of know what was going on for an explanation as well. And so I think I got to a point where I kind of knew what was going to happen in the end, and I just stopped playing. And I was like, yeah. And then I remember I was like, yeah, I totally beat it. And then playing it again, I'm like, I don't think I did. It's like, I don't remember. I'm like, oh, these extra chapters. Like, what? Like, I thought it was over.
Oh my God.
Why am I watching a 2-hour movie at the end
Yes.
of this? I don't remember this at all.
11:30 at night. I'm like, can I go to bed now?
Yeah.
I was the same. So we were gonna record. I thought on like Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. So you guys were like, "No, Jacob, we're recording on Tuesday." And I was like, "Oh no, I have to play 4 hours of Death Stranding last night." And boy, that last 4 hours is something. We're gonna get to it, but is there anything on the gameplay side you guys want to touch on before we talk about the bat-ish crazy story that is Death Stranding?
I think my first encounter with a mule, like when I first initially played the game, and my boyfriend happened to be watching me, he's like, oh, like, are there just no people in this world? I'm like, oh, everyone's like underground. And as I was walking, it was the very first couple of missions, and I see a person, and I'm like, oh, a real person. Oh my God. I start running toward them, and then they look at me and their eyes just start shining, and then they pull out a gun. I'm like, that's not a friend. That's not a friend. And I had to take off running. He's like, why don't you just fight it? I'm like, no, I don't
my
want
God.
to. And I just booked it. When he had to like cross the river, or like, I know at the initial beginning with the mules, they were afraid of rain, and then
Yeah.
they get more and more advanced. I looted a whole camp during the rain, and they just watched me do it.
Oh my God, that's wonderful.
It was one of like the finer moments where I just went there and they're all in their tents with their guns looking, and I'm like, just gonna take this, and I'm gonna take this, and I'm like, you're gonna do anything? And they're just looking at me. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna take everything I can. And then I left, and they're like, you completed the mission. I'm like, thank you.
That's wonderful.
Court, you make a really good point, though, that, like, and I want to get your take on this. Do you feel like the world felt sparse? Like there wasn't a lot of things in it, and that was a deliberate choice?
Yes. Just to kind of give a feel of, and I think this was his intention, was to create, like, to feel empty in a way. And so you would have this desire to connect with the other little locations and stuff like that to get them on the chiral network. And that was the feel, to just have this vastness and emptiness and to want to connect everyone.
it's such a bizarre like change from other open world games where they like try and fill it with as much stuff as possible. But in this game, there's a deliberate choice to be like, hey, there's going to be a lot of open space that you're just going to explore, and that's the game.
I feel like that would be what a real like apocalypse would be. It would just be a whole lot of nothing, you know?
Just super, super sparse. Yeah. And then as you're connecting more things, the world kind of populates more with more buildings and more like
structures and
bridges, structures, that's the word.
Yeah.
So like it still stays very, very sparse, but it kind of, you see more people as you connect more knots. So yeah, it was interesting. But yes, you're right. It was very, very sparse and definitely a choice.
It felt like a country like, and I've never been there, I only know it from pictures, but like New Zealand. It felt like we were in New Zealand, maybe like the Canadian, like Western Canada. Also, fun fact before we start getting to the story, 4 Canadians on this call today talking about a game about America.
Whoop, whoop.
So take everything we say with a grain of salt, I guess.
We totally know everything we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
I built a road from Shining Sea to Shining Mountain.
Wow.
So, you know.
No
You
big
did
deal.
it.
I did my part for America.
You lived the dream. Oh, I did
the
my
American dream.
This is America. I think what we should do before we close out this episode is, before we start our part 2, what I'd love to do is maybe just set up the world and the story of, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but why don't we just set up the world, set up what's happening, and then we can dive into the details in part 2. Sam Porter Bridges, played by Norman Reedus, has the goal of reconnecting America. And that's the story. Thank you very much for coming.
Done.
Good job, man.
You nailed it.
Yeah, thank you. Any other pieces that I may have missed there?
I would say, okay, so he has the job of reconnecting America after this devastating event called the Death Stranding that wiped out a lot of the population of I would assume the world, but this really just takes place in America. And you things from the afterlife are coming into our realm, and essentially it's discovered that the afterlife is a place called the Beach, and things are kind of coming through. And because they're coming through, it's causing a lot of mayhem, it's causing a lot of death, and the world is trying to essentially reconnect and try to prevent itself from getting any worse, I guess.
Yeah.
Who's next? Keep going.
Barriers between the worlds have kind of dissolved, and everything's kind of like leaking into each other. So it's like the life of the living and the world of the dead are just kind of bleeding into each other, and everything gets crazy and weirdness ensues.
So you get sent on a mission by Bridget Strand, who's played by Lindsay Wagner, who, if I'm not mistaken, is like it's like a 70s and 80s TV star.
Cool.
Plays the president who is on her deathbed, and she's like Sam, and also is Sam's mother, and that's something we know pretty early, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're like,
so she's
your mom, the president. Like, they're literally like, oh, you need to go talk to the president, your mom. Like, it's so matter-of-factly, and Sam's weird. Like, he just doesn't react at all, so, like, you're just kind of like, is it his mom? Like, Sam doesn't seem to act like it's his mom. Like, it's strange.
Yeah. I think that's a part 2 discussion.
Yeah, totally.
I adore Norman Reedus. I adore him. But he kind of plays his characters like in the same manner, where he just kind of plays it straight a lot of the time. And I think that Sam Porter Bridges like is a man that plays it straight, where he is going to tell you what he thinks. He doesn't love people, so of course he's the man that has to reconnect America, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Metaphors.
I think we're going to leave part 1 there. Next week, we're going to give you our part 2 on Death Stranding, where we're going to dive into the story and tell you all of the things that we think about it. It's going to be wild. You can find all things Left Behind Game Club at leftbehindgame.club, on Twitter at leftbehindclub, and on Instagram at leftbehindgameclub. First, I want to thank you, Courtney, for coming on this episode of the show. If people want to find you and your work with Streamers Unknown, where can they do that?
On streamersunknown.com, or we do also have a Twitch channel if you want to come by and say hi, on twitch.tv/streamersunknown. We also have a Discord that you can join if you are also a fellow streamer and want to be a part of a community.
And you talked about a Smash documentary as well. Where can people watch that?
On Telus Optic and or Story Hive on YouTube. You just type in Smash Forward and you should be able to find it there.
Amazing. Katie, if people want to find you on the internet, where can they do that?
I'm on Twitter. I'm Lesperance. I tweet occasionally. I'll chat with you all the time. And I'm also in the Discord. Also Lesperance. So yeah,
and
either way.
If you want to find the Discord for the Left Behind Game Club, you can go to leftbehindgame.club. There's a big button on the front page there. You can join our Discord, talk about video games, movies, game deals, whatever you like. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot it. And both you and Travis and me have a new podcast called Cutscenes. It is about video game movies. You can find that at cutscenes.ca or at cutscenes_pod on Instagram or Twitter. Travis, where can people find you if they want to hear about the X-Men and other things you tweet about?
Here we go. I'm on Twitter at Travis Colenutt. I'm usually talking about like whatever show or comic book or whatever. I don't talk that much, and I lurk in the Discord. So if you want to, if you were to say like X-Men in the Discord, yeah, you might summon me and then I would appear and then I would talk to you. So yeah.
To the first person that listens to this after it comes out, please just type X-Men and at Travis in the Discord and see how long it takes. I'm very curious.
Seconds.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
You can find me on the internet at Jacob McCord on all major social media platforms. I'm also a YouTuber sometimes, so check me out there, youtube.com/Jacob McCord. As our friend Mike Ruffalo says, that, my friends, is one less episode left behind.